Hey guys, what's going on? This is the Solution Artist, Bobby F. Parihar here, guys, coming to you on a really special day. I love speaking when my little man is sleeping right in front of me. It's one of the most satisfying feelings ever. You know, looking at my life, I'm looking at this myself being recorded, and not sure if you can relate or feel the way I feel, ever in your life, where you thought you weren't going to make it, or you thought you weren't going to succeed, or you weren't going to see good things happen to you in your life, or your dreams come true. And I can completely relate. I was like, that was basically what happened with me. And so when I get a chance to do this, it makes me feel like, I've made it. Looking at my microphone, this thing is going to make it to my show. It's going to make it across my channels. Like, what, you know what I mean? Like, I never thought. I remember when I was a kid, I used to sing a lot, like we used to do lots of raps and be like a freestyle. It was like my whole thing, right? And I chuckled at the thought of me thinking that I have my own disc or I have my own album, or I'd be like a recording artist, with an actual CD. And I just rolled my eyes at it, even though I had a passion for the craft of being a wordsmith and, singing. And it's crazy because, you have to think fast enough to tell a story in a poem that you haven't even written yet along to a beat. So like a freestyle is really tough. And, I love doing it. Absolutely love doing it. And now look at my life and I'm like, podcast is a couple of days away from being released. It's crazy. We're coming out with so many cool different ideas, platforms, programs, which you guys are going to be invited to tonight, by the way. But crazy to see me now, to look at myself now, and I look and I'm just like, wow, like you've grown, you've changed so much. And now you guys are here with me. And sometimes I'll tell you, it really feels like I'm just documenting my life, and I'm letting people in to the inner workings of my mind and the inner insights that I'm pulling in. And so when you guys plug into me, I feel like I get a chance to pull on your consciousness. I get to pull on your spiritual energy, and I get to feed by your spiritual consciousness. And it's nice because I feel like I glow even brighter by the people that are around me. So I appreciate you guys for everything. This is one of the reasons why I usually do most of my stuff, on a video live, as opposed to just recording it and worrying about it and wondering if I'm going to make it somewhere. I'd rather be interacting with you guys in the real world, having a real conversation, and we can use it. I can use it again. And the fact that I'm going to use it again and again and again, and we're going to be able to share this message with others, just makes me feel like I think this is the way I should do it. Some broadcasts are going to be much stronger than others, but this one in particular should be fairly impactful. Okay, so I hope that you guys really enjoy what I'm about to tell you tonight. Let's see if we can start from the top. Okay, we're going to start from the top. 2019, okay, like the year just began, and 2018 was amazing. Best year of my life. It was unreal. It was just like, spoke on stage, and me and my Sally Pearl life together. I had my son, like literally the best year of my life so far. And so it started with a few teams. I think it was Sarah's team, Sarah Price or someone in there, in the Freedom team at the time. Hey, Cindy, what's up? Vanessa, Rhonda's here. So a couple of my clients, I had done a few of these before, like maybe 4 or 5 people or 5 or 6 people. I've done like 3 or 4 of them, group sessions. And then January came along, and then I put in a group of about 20 to 25 people inside a group, right? I think it was like 21 or something weird. And everybody inside of that one webinar. Jason David Friedman, what's going on, my brother? I put a bunch of these people inside of my inside of one webinar, one call, and it took us about 3 and a bit hours. Okay, so we were there and we jammed hard. And what happened at that moment that I recognized was that there was this tool that's available. And you have to kind of like loosen your mind a little bit while I say this, okay? Because you'll get this idea, and I'll use a metaphor. You know, once upon a time, you know, we found this thing, Napster. You guys remember music sharing? And this concept of peer-to-peer network was born, P2P, peer-to-peer. And so, you know, that this turned into like huge realities inside of the digital space, where instead of going to this one place to get everything, you know, you'd have a bunch of different people, you know, all had the file, and depending on how many people were online, you know, you would have that many people to download it from. So you can get it in like the matter of a few seconds, like because it existed as a web across consciousness or across the internet. So this was a pretty big turning point. Now there are sayings out there that says the biggest Airbnb business has no hotels or has no houses, or the biggest merchandise company has no actual store, or like the biggest you know, bank companies have no actual banks. And like, you know, it's one of these realities to think the power is being grown within the individual, and as the network of us all continue to rise, so does the general average consciousness. You know, we get a chance to do more, be more. We grow as a unit, as a team. So imagine now my business. You know, I started off with like really, really intense one-on-one, personal. You guys have seen it. I've been with you guys. We've done this, right? It's that intuitive conversation about you, and like finally getting a chance to meet the you know, the people in there inside of you that are living, fighting for couch space, or fighting for the throne, or fighting to be seen, or, you know, fighting against you sometimes it feels like. But you know, like for those people who have gone through this experience, you know that it's a challenging thing to not see. Like you find a piece of yourself, whether it be a spiritual or like emotional or energetic recognition, validation to you. You see yourself in a new light. And that for that, I'm like so freaking blessed and grateful that I get a chance to plug into you and show you how much of a light you are and shine the light back on you. So when that experience goes down, it's phenomenal, monumental. But what would it look like? Hey, Rena, what's going on? Howard, Mike, what's up, buddy? What would it look like if you were able to be like, have a group of 20 people all there for you at that one moment where you learn about yourself? Now that's on its own, that like gives my heart race. That gives me goosebumps to think that at this moment, this person's about to see God in their own name right now, like right this instant. And we're about to do this, and we're in a session. There's 20 people there. And every single person is looking at this person's numbers with their consciousness, their hopes, their dreams, their, you know, desires, their drive, their motives. All of them is now lending their information to you, watching you have a profound spiritual experience, enlightening, awakening. And all the while, they have some of those same numbers. So when I'm describing something that exists in you, yeah, right, of course, your partner or your business colleague or someone inside of your community, someone random on the street is going to be dealing with the same thing, whether they have the confidence around it or not, whether they're aware of it or not, but they're seeing things in there. Have you ever heard of this? You guys know what salespeople, right? Leading and pacing and matching and mirroring. You gain rapport and relatability with someone when you see yourself in them. You feel more empowered to who you are, to the relationship, more akin to them, similarities. Oh, I like that music too. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I went to a school just like that. Instead of being like, oh, I like heavy metal. Oh, I like country. Cool. Oh, yeah, I like dancing. Oh, I hate dancing. It's like, okay. The conversation is going to be like, could you imagine if people were positive? Like, oh my God, that's so cool. I actually hate dancing. That's amazing. That's so weird. We absolutely dislike the same thing. Like, we don't agree on the same thing. What else do you hate? Oh man, I hate children. Oh my God, I have 4. I'm always covered in poo somewhere. Like, that's so cool. Yeah. Oh, I'm a dog person. Oh my God, screw you. I'm a cat person. Like, you know, you don't see that. It'd be really funny. I think we should try to do that, but not minus the screw you part. But, to find a friend, it's like to find like things in each other. We see in others what we like about what we see in ourselves. Our subconscious recognizes things about us in others. That's how we pay attention to things. That's why when something completely out of your zone walks in front of you, you don't even know, you don't even pay attention. You're like, oh, I didn't even see what color that shirt was, because we're blind to stuff that doesn't register for us. So imagine this concept, this observer effect, that you're watching, if you're the audience member, this person inside of their experience, feeling the thing that's inside of you that you may not even be aware of, that shows up in what I'm telling this person about this thing that's happening in their life. Example, confidence. Let's talk about just at the very basic form. This person's dealing with a lack of confidence, and it's troubling them because it's one of their numbers in their birthday. Like this, we got to talk about this. But then on your birthday, someone who's watching, next thing you know, it's like, like maybe you can get family done, you can work really hard for other people, and like you really help the world, and like you're a very wise person. But underneath all of that, you've got a number that says, I lack self-confidence. I just hide it very well. And I can still make money. I still make business. Still do all this stuff still happens. But on the deep end, I don't really tell anybody this, but I kind of don't like myself in the mirror, and I don't take care of myself the way I should. And it looks like I'm really busy on the outside, but on the inside, I'm having this fight with myself that I don't tell anybody about. And suddenly Joe Blow in the front end, I'm like, hey, there's a number here that says you're going to be challenged when you look in the mirror. And they're like, oh my God, this is my problem. And I'm trying so hard to get past it. I don't know what to do, man. Bobby's saving. What's the right letter? I just relax my young Padawan. We'll get you the right letter. That's the whole point of aligning your name. You move out of that energy, but consider what just happened there. The person who's not able to commit or aware of their challenge or their problem, and they're just like, it's a missing thing, and we don't know, doing all the right things and everything. I'm like, what's my deal? And this guy out there has got an ego problem, and he's like, the front end thinking, why me? What's wrong with me? I should be a leader, and I want to lead, and there's numbers in my chart, and it's so negative. And then this other person's in the side being like, this is the things that I'm not saying. This is the energy that I have to experience that I don't actually experience. They grow. They're lending their energy to this person. They grow. You guys both end up growing through a mutual experience that's almost like one-sided, because the person in the front's too busy dealing with themselves. I really doubt they're going to be like, oh, y'all are learning because of me, even though I say it, even though I tell everybody that's the whole point. Like, you all get a chance to learn together from each other. It still doesn't register, because when it comes to you facing your birthday in your name, and you're looking at this and you're like, how do you know me? How do you know that even exists? Like that, it says that in that, all you're looking at is numbers, and it tells you that story. Like, I never told anybody that. Like, you're completely gone from, oh, guys, come here, take a look at the stuff that I'm dealing with. Maybe you'll learn something. Like, this is one of the most powerful healing group. It reminds me of like a village. It reminds me of a village where everybody has to pray over the little kid, or it takes a village to raise a kid, that kind of thing. Your kid is so cute, and the Batman baby carrot. I know, right? I'm wearing a Batman shirt underneath too. But yeah, he's sleeping. He's getting over a nice little healing session. It's just burning a lot of energy, and he wasn't hungry. And today was eating, and he was smiling and laughing again. But you just can't put him down. And to boot, I forgot where I put my baby carrier. So I'm like, this ain't cool. But when I found it, I put it on. I'm like, whoa, I've been going to the gym, right? So I'm like, hey, I feel like more physically capable for doing this right now. Like, this is like a good thing for my back to to see how much my muscles are growing. Because I noticed immediately, because I was thinking, oh, it's been a couple of weeks, I haven't put him in here. He's probably going to be heavier. And it turns out that I've gotten stronger. So what's up? That's what's up. Yeah, you know what's up. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Hi, Carolyn. What's going on? Love your magic. I appreciate you so much. This is like next level magic right now, because a lot of people are walking around without an awareness of the gifts that they're gifted with on this planet. Like, we don't we don't usually think about that. We just, like I think I'm psychic, or I think I've got an intuition, and, or like sometimes I feel things, and like, and you can tell because when something cool happens, you're like super shocked, and you're like, what is this? This is like God or something. I'm like, I still get in awe of the universal creation, but at the same time, you have to recognize that you exist at a higher dimensional space, and we're all just playing puppets with ourselves on the planet. So I like to think that when I've taken that road to be like, no, let me carve a path here. Let me build a highway, because this information needs to be properly like groomed. I'm going to do this for the next 50, 60 years of my life. Like, I've committed that spiritual wellness and like intuitive awareness, all that kind of good stuff. That's going to be like the main meat and potatoes of my life. Like, I'm going to help people through the awakening and the switching of the light bulbs and the upgrading of your electronic system inside of your machine, inside of your vibration, so you can handle a higher currency. All right. Yes. Isn't that such a cool little, I think we got it from the States. My mom knows where it's from, but oh my God. I remember a time when his head was just like right in here, and like you couldn't even like get him outside of the carrier. Now his legs are out of them. Oh, do you guys want to see? I'll just quickly show you how cute this is. Look at how so cute he is. Huh? Oh, my poor little boy. Not feeling too good, but it's okay. Sometimes we just don't feel good, and that's okay too. That's why we have numerology. But because tomorrow, this time, and so this led me to a really powerful light bulb that went off in my head, is that, we could screw one light into this time together, and it would be so cool, right? Like, you turn your lights on. But if you were to put a light show together at the same time, the flame is bigger, the light is brighter, it's a more energetic, powerful, spiritual grid. It covers more physical space, and all of these things beam up together in like it's a very spiritual thing. It sounds weird. I know it sounds really strange, but it's phenomenal. The things that you can get healed because everyone else is lifting you up at the same time. It's easier to lift a truck if you've got 20 people, as opposed to me and you. I'm like, okay, this is going to hurt. Let's do this. And then I'd like to do as much as I can, and I like to think that I can move a truck with my thoughts, and just in my mind. But I cannot compete with 20 like-minded souls all having a spiritual experience as they're aware of what's happening to this young little soul, or this old soul, or this soul in growth, or whatever it is you want to call it, finding their vibe, aligning their vibe. So it turned a very cool surprise benefit. Instead of just being a one zap, it went, and this wave effect went over everyone. So, and you guys have seen it. Sometimes you watch a live, and I'm here for a couple hours. Like, could you imagine if the conversation was circulated around you? Could you imagine if, like, really, and we weren't just giving you a small little quick lick of the birthday, but to look at your name, to align it, to see what other people are doing, to grow with a fleet of people, to mastermind. And through that mastermind, you find your level of alignment. It's I saw this, and the windows opened to me, and I was having this conversation with one of my mentors, and it's like, you have to do this every week. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense, because throughout the 9 months or 8 months so far, every so often, a group will come to me and say, we want the group session. So I've got, I don't know how many, 100 or something so clients in the group sessions that go through this 3-hour mastermind, this 3-hour webinar, and we line everybody up all at the same time. Everybody's getting spiritual haircuts. Everyone's getting unloaded off underneath the spiritual truck that they're crushed under. Like, you get a chance to actually do that. And it's one of the most powerful things, I believe, is your story, your growth, and learning how to tell it, learning how to be confident in it, learning how to sell your story, how to really communicate that is one of the biggest challenges a lot of people have, because we're stuck behind our ego, or we don't want to tell anybody what we're dealing with. And, it's one of those challenges that every human being has to go through, right? Like, we put our face to the world, especially now that social media is up. I'm like, oh my God, I'm filming, And there was a time before when I wasn't able to do this. And I think there will be a time again when I won't be able to do this. So I like to think that, you know, when the years roll by and I even look from the beginning of this year when he was the size of a tiny little jelly bean. And I'm like, this is so cute to think we've grown. We're growing. We're not stopping. We're going to continue to grow. And sometimes it feels like you're not, but then you look back like last month and I'm like, whoa, all right, I guess gotta give yourself some credit. You know, you have to really grow into that. So this has evolved to is now it's an evolution of this event. I've done a few on my own. I did a few for some open groups. I did a lot of them for teams, private teams. So what this is turning into now is a weekly occurrence that it's going to be an open house. So you're going to have the chance to rock with me privately for 2.5 3 hours. You're going to do a full-on training, especially, you know, in the areas that you show up with. Everyone's going to get a bonus training because of you. So they're going to get their own, you know, like numbers sorted out just by seeing yours. Everyone gets their numbers sorted out. We'll be providing you with a owner's manual to kick things off, because this one's going to be kind of fun. That's happening tomorrow. Anybody who comes back in or wants to be in there with us, you're going to get 2 owner's manuals. So there could be one for you, one for your relationship, or one for your partner, or one for your kid, or one for your whoever it is. But whoever you want to gift that to, or maybe even just use it for yourself next year. But you're going to, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, owner's manuals, really, like to see one for this guy, like 80 pages report, just going deep into his psyche, his personality. You really have to have your experience in order to believe in it. Because, you know, people will be like, no, man, for sure, straight up, seriously, you got to figure this out. You got to go in, you have got to figure this out. And when some people do, you know, they go through this enlightening phase where it's just like, I see myself. And on top of that, you get a book that's written about you. And it describes all the details about you, your phases, the different dynamic zones you go through inside of your life. It's an in-depth technology numerology. So you're going to get an owner's manual when you work with me on my alignment mastermind. You're going to get that as well. I also give exclusive rate discounts to anyone who joins in there, because as great as it is in a group session, it only will leave you wanting to dive in deep into your own story in a private sense. But we got some things out of the way. We can dive a little bit deeper. We got the icebreaker done. It's not an awkward conversation. We had a chance to, we already know, like, and trust each other. You know, we can have a deeper level dive inside of you now that you feel more comfortable knowing that I know what you're dealing with. It's a double bonus. I can't even say double anymore. It's just bonus after bonus after bonus. And you're getting a discount to work with me privately. We get a chance to go even further. We get a chance to cover some stuff we would inside of a second or third session, depending on how far in we go. It's the journey entry point. Like, this is the lounge room. So it's $111 US to be with us. Okay, I'm going to do this every week. So tomorrow is another one coming. When you see this on the cast, it'll be released on a Thursday. So it will be, again, like the first one, or I guess it's Friday today. So we'll be doing them on Saturdays until further notice. But it'll be like a Sunday inside of Australia. So Australian Sundays, North American evening Fridays, you're going to get a chance to gain alignment. For some of you leaders out there, okay, the big leaders who are making, like, you know, the kind of money you make when you get a check and someone's new in your business and you're at that moment now where you can't give someone personal attention the way you'd like to, might not be a bad idea to enroll them in the next week's call. It's a powerful investment inside of their, you know, their lives. I also work group discounts for my clients, my previous clients. So inside of an event like this, there would be an even further discount if you've already worked with me. So if you want to, you're like, oh, I need to be in there. And it's been a year, it's been 6 months, and we need to go back into your birthday, or we need to go back into your names. Or better yet, you got new names now. Oh, and you're like, I've got my name for my this, and I got this new name for my chat group, and I got this name for my inner pods and my lead page. I'm like, oh, look at you go. Look at you go. And it's funny because when I first worked with them, they would be all like, I was trying to be successful, you know, and I'm trying to make this like internet money. I want to be like an entrepreneur. I'm like, take this and don't mess around. Stop talking like that, and let's go build a business. And then a year later, they're like, oh, Bobby, I got it. He did it. And you guys all come back in your leadership mode. I'm like, I told you to stop talking like that. I can't. This is like a really good feeling because this is what happens after we grow. After you guys get to the next level in your life, after you guys raise your ranks or you go through your breakthrough and it happens, you come back and you're like, what else? What next? Like, what now? What do we do? And this is part of that process is throw the elevator back down. So if you have a group, if I've already done this, if you've got a team and you're like, yo, it's time, we got to get this done. I will either do a separate one for you privately, reach out to me, and we'll coordinate a time. We'll get everybody in a private group chat. There's going to be a nice little cool energy in there. I'm going to say some cool things. I'll invite you guys to a private Zoom. And then, ba-bam, when the time is right, you set your calendar, you set your kids in the other room, or you can find babysitters, or you know, they listen in, or you do whatever you can to prepare that space. Get some water, you take some notes. Whatever it is, you can host a watch party at your house if you want the people with you can be there with you, I guess. You know, whatever it is that you got to do. But we're going to space. Like we're going to the next evolution, the next revelation, the next horizon, the next frontier of your life. I can't even, like, you guys don't understand. You don't understand. And what I will do is I will say this, www.tinyurl.com/Bobby F. Parihar. Okay, tinyurl.com/Bobby F. Parihar. You will go in there, and this will be my YouTube channel. And inside there is a catalog of the videos that I've done. Inside of that catalog, you will see replays of past group sessions and see for yourself what happens to these people's faces as the night grows. What happens to these people's energy and even yours as an observer as you start watching all of these broken pieces and broken names suddenly go and everybody starts to operate and vibrate at a higher level. It's got a really cool feeling to it. It has a really cool feeling to it. Some of these have been so dynamic and powerful. We've been in emotion. We've gotten a chance to break through a lot of stuff. It's been a phenomenal healing. And now guess what? We've got to do this like every week, and this is how it's going to happen. So I invite you guys. It's really, really powerful time together that we're going to spend. It's called the Alignment Mastermind. Okay, so this is a new product now, a new place. If you've already been with me and you're about 6 months in, I would probably say, like after our session, within your 6 months, unless something as dramatic is happening, unless we didn't get a chance to cover everything, unless you need more or you want to be there like specifically because you're like, I just got to do whatever Bobby tells me to do, it would be better of your benefit to take the discount that I'm going to give you. Okay, so it's not going to be the original $111 for returning clients. It's $88, and gift that to someone. Tell someone that they can have that discount. Share it with someone who's struggling in your team. If they can't afford it, go ahead and pay it forward. Why not? What do you have to lose? If they're in your team, it's an investment in them. But to know that there is a way for you to give your loyalty out, help me out, guys. Like, share it with people. Because for you, 6 months, you may be like, yeah, but I'm set. I'm like so good right now, and I don't need to come back right now. I'll see you in a year. It's fine. But in the meantime, how many people inside, because you're fine, right? How many people inside of your business are brand new and have yet to be introduced to the power of spiritual alignment in your wealth? Like, what does that even mean? It's one of the most weirdest things to explain. And simply put, there are different colors of trees. There's different flavors of fruits. There's different styles of colors or houses on the block. There are different unique identifying qualifiers that are like pieces of you that some speak for wealth. Some speak for energetic abundance of financial areas. Some of them say this. Some of them say powerful, long-term, trustworthy communication. And some of them say things like, I want to be successful, but I keep tripping on over my own feet. Or like, I live in this fantasy world where I'm super successful, but then the real world sucks ass and I don't even know what I'm doing here. Or maybe there's this thing where it's like, I'm doing so great, but really I'm not. Or the one who's like, I don't even say anything because I know I'm not doing anything. And I'm like, I just don't want to say anything. And then there's other people who are not, and these are the tough ones, right? Because you see them and they inspire you and you're like, and they're like, doesn't matter what happens to me, I'm going to be successful. I'm going to go get it anyway. And like, I'm not afraid to work hard. So what, people fail. I'm going to fail through. I'm going to fail forward. I'm going to keep growing. There's never quit, persist until you got greatness within you. And like these bulletproof mindsets. And I'm really sharpening mine because I'm not like that all the time. So I'm like, and you're like, hey, Bobby, you talk like that. I'm like, yeah, I know, because that's the direction I'm going into. One day I will be bulletproof. But until then, hey, let's grow together. Why not, right? So you have a choice of, knowing full on what reason you have why you're not succeeding. Is it because my confidence sucks on the outside? Does it suck on the inside? Does it blow? Is it really weird? Am I in trouble here? Or like you get a chance to open up and be like, oh, okay, so yeah, see, my middle name says that I don't quite communicate the way I should. So deep down, my deeper inner desires are going to go dormant and I'm going to end up dreaming about them as opposed to communicating them. That's just great. Or I can see a lot, but I'm superiorly lazy. Like, wow. On the inside, I'm just like, oh, give me a couch and like throw that phone off of a cliff. I'll see you guys later. That's why I do most of this stuff sitting down. I'm like, oh yeah, let's just sit down and let's just enjoy, because that's just, this is where, I can really unload some deeper level conversation. So anyway, you have a choice of choosing. Once you know, do I want to play that story or do I want to crank this thing around a couple degrees? And hopefully it's going to be a nice, cute little letter that matches your name. And this is like just made in your size. And there's this, destiny for you that's like right there. For some of you, it may be that you have to take a letter or two, or you have to take a letter that's not yours, or rearrange your name in a way that wasn't the way it was. It's strange. Like some of my clients have taken letters that have nothing to do with their name. Me personally, middle name is Francisco. So I like lucked out. I lucked out that I could use that. I was like, oh, boom, that's what's up. I'm just going to use, Bobby of Parihar. And to be fair, Balwant F. Parihar also works. Balwant Francisco also works. Balwant Francisco P also works. So you can take this for what it is. Bobby Parihar was keeping me rutted in the dirt, whereas every other version of my name, and also Balwant Parihar, but if I put a letter in it, or if I shorten it somehow, or if I use it at a different angle, I unlock my communicative powers instead of it working against me and feeling these massive levels of like soulful depression, like, oh, like there's no end to those, okay? And now I keep it all together. I'm like, whoa, life is, and it's crazy because the people who see me are like, you're nuts, you took on 3 kids, like you overnight you became a dad, and like, we're this, and because they knew me at a state when I was unstable to even take care of myself. And this is what happened. I got my letter and it didn't work right away. As a matter of fact, when I got my letter, suddenly everything started to fall apart. And I'm like, isn't this supposed to make me rich? I'm like, well, a year and a half in, I started toying with the idea of changing my letter. Like, this isn't working. I need to change my vibe. I'm going to like go by a different name. Maybe I picked the wrong letter. What other letters are available, right? Bobby Q Parihar. I'm like, oh God, it sounds so stupid. And I didn't have the insight. I wasn't doing numerology yet. Like I was just kind of like learning about me still. But it got bad. It got really dire. Everything started getting taken away from me. And it's one of those like, hindsight is 20/20, and like, it was a spiritual, enlightened, silver lining purpose to the whole thing. Oh my God, yeah. Doesn't make it any easier to have to deal with difficulty. Hi, my son. Oh, Daddy's here. There we go. Oh, Daddy is here. Daddy is here. Daddy is here. Daddy is here. Okay, sorry. It got worse. It got really tough. And it makes me feel like it was all in preparation for the upgrade I was going to go through. Because what ends up happening, I go through a really negative addiction through drugs. I get my lifestyle taken away from me. My business comes to a halt. I had to go get a job at a taxi, get a job at the mall. I kept getting fired. I was like tail between my legs. This is like 2016. And I'm like, this sucks. I just can't do this. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't figure this out. And like, I gave up on myself, and like, I was just in such a low. And then when I was in that really low, suddenly I came clean about addiction. My girlfriend breaks up with me. I move out of my house. I get fired from my job again. Right when you can't think again, it can't get any more embarrassing than having a secret drug addiction, living in my parents on top of their garage at 31, can't bring a girlfriend home, and like, working at the mall. Suddenly, like, oh, now let's take it all away from you. And I'm like, what? And like, she leaves. I was gonna move out. I get mad. I get really angry. I start doing this really crazy shit. I go and tell my parents that I'm on drugs, and then I've got this really crazy drug. Like, I literally, like, everything rock bottom is like, come on, and then went like, oh, there you go. There's a new level of low. I knew you were down here somewhere. And so like, I was looking at this being like, I just can't anymore. Like, this is it. This is my suicide. I'm just going to come clean and tell everybody, and like, I'm not going to hide this anymore. And, try to rebuild my life. And so I started telling all my cousins. I told all my family. I started telling you guys. I started telling my audience. And I was like, oh, the thought from that memory looking towards today almost makes me throw up. But it makes you feel like your stomach just turns. But looking back, I looked at this and I was like, wow, there's a purpose. There was a reason why everything, okay, give it all back. Okay, give it all back. You're now you're ready to grow. Now you're ready to move on up. Started picking up clients. I moved out of my home. I got a quick little part-time job, and then I got a better job at a call center. I was making a couple $100 a day. Okay. Downtown, starting to work in the call center again. Okay, I'm making good money. And now suddenly I'm picking up clients. I'm there at work, and then on my break, I see someone, or I work with someone, and I started to make what I make with them like in half a day at the job. And like, I'm like, interesting. And so it started to accumulate, and everything started to pile up onto there. I end up, taking more and more clients. Now suddenly I've got a business, I've got a system. I'm juggling between the job and numerology and working a shift, come home, do 2 or 3 or 4 sessions, like go back to the job. And like, I'm liking life right now. It's looking really good. Suddenly I meet Sally. My life's just put together. And now I move out to the island. We get pregnant and we go traveling across the world. Like, this went like, whoa, this went hockey stick. This really went up pretty quickly. And, sometimes numerology can do that for you. I mean, I'd like to think that, or it can do that to you, is where you've been holding on to so many things in your world, in your life, in your existence, that now that you're not going to be like tied down by it, the last thing that you're going to have to want to be is the horse that's stuck to a beach chair, or the elephant that's tapped to a lawn chair. It's like, oh, that's my leash. I can't go anywhere. I'm like, nothing's holding you back now. You have all force and all clear to fly. And then but the soul is saying, yeah, but I'm like 40 years old. And like, I've had 39 years of, me not having alignment and building these really messed up ideas about myself and about life. And I don't know if I can do business, and people aren't going to want to listen to me. And then on the other side, I'm like, yo, so you want this name though, or not? Like, you paid for this. This is it. Are you going to make something of your life? Are you going to really run your business? Are you going to run your life? Are you going to be in control of it? Or are you going to be a side actor in your own existence and just like get a supporting role in, someone else's movie? And people do that all the time. Just ask anyone who works for Mr. Walmart, or anyone who works for Mr. Costco, or how about anyone who works for Mr. Apple? They're playing a piece of someone else's bigger scheme and bigger design. And when I look, I'm like, what are people going to remember me by when I'm gone? And will I affect people who I've never met? Like that was where some of the bigger things that I really like aspire to, is to think that this message, who I am, where I grow, what I become, is going to influence people further than my touch or further than my awareness. So where we're at right now, bringing it back to 2019, is the evolution of the weekly events. This is going to be something that helps a lot of people. And sometimes, it's all about divine timing. Sometimes it's not your week. Sometimes, you're waiting to get it done, or like you're still uncovering or digging yourself out of, the challenges that life puts on top of you. Like we're emotional human beings. So we're not safe from our memories and from our experiences. Like those are the things that beat us down the most. So the last thing you need is a number or a name or a version of it that's swirling you down inward into your energy in a negative way. I would imagine the people who are wanting something in life are those who have decided on the opposite. And they're like, no, I'm going to, whatever it takes, I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm going to make something happen despite all the crap that gets put through my face or anything that happens. And it sucks because I see it. And when I work with someone, we change their name. Sometimes some bad stuff happens. And like repeatedly I see it. And it makes me wonder, did I give them the wrong name? And then the universe is like, dude, don't do that. You don't beat yourself up like that. You're providing them a way out of their burning building, and you may get a little scratched on the way out, or what haunts you wants to keep you haunted, so it pulls at you and scratches you and gnaws at you to go into the negative direction. And you're like fighting this charge or fighting this challenge to move into the new place in your life. You've got like 30 plus years, 40, 50 plus years sometimes of programming that identifies stuff you've picked up, ways you were treated as a kid, the way your parents treated you, what happened in grade 1, the first time you got kicked down, like the first time you touch a hot stove, like, or like your parents get mad at you for going out on the street and you get in so much crap and you're like, what the hell? I was just playing. And then, you don't realize that you could have died, and like, your parents are like angry at you for that. Like weird stuff happens to really like do us in. And that's why personal development, spiritual development, psychics, and spiritual stuff is such a huge thing. People are looking for meaning. They're looking for answers. And here I am being like, I got the answer. I got the meaning. I can help you out. And it's unique, and this power inside of numbers. It's so cool because every skeptical person will love this. Like I finally, like, because I'm a skeptical kind of guy, right? And it's tough being a skeptical, spiritual type of person, spiro-skepto. And, like where you want to believe, but you don't, and you really want to believe, and there's something in you that does, but everything else outside of you questions everything. That's a thing. That shows up in people's charts, by the way, where one part's like, no, show me how it's done. And then the other parts inside like, oh my God, I can see God, and I can see it. And like that profound spiritual experience on one side, but then this other side is like, no. And, and yeah, so that's the only way to be. That's when the proof comes. I'm like that. See, my bro, Chris, dude, it's a real thing. It's like we're ears and souls open to the right stuff. Oh, but then, very sensitive to BS. That's where I feel like I'm at in my life. And even as I say that, it was 44 minutes, 44 seconds inside of the live. So imagine, that when you see all those fours, that you can get an idea around that says, hey, you know what? There's a skeptical person talking here, but this also sets a foundation for what could become, and really the true raising of consciousness. So, if you're trapped, if you're feeling stuck, and you need a bit of this enlightened conversation, getting in with the group is a very wonderful thing to do. It's an easy entry point into the work that I do. You get a chance to be in a group setting. Maybe you don't need to go diving deep inside of yourself. Learning from others, having the awareness, even, quite gratefully lending your energy to other people as they go through their experience, hey, that's like a really big thing that you're doing for the planet, for the world, for yourself. And so I invite you, I really wish that, everyone who sees this, if you're thinking about it or you're on the fence about it, you're wondering, this is the answer. And this is the answer for me. And a lot of my friends, a lot of the people who I look up to taught me and showed this to me. And now we look towards the future being like, how can we help others? And this is it. So if you want a chance to join one, it's a simple, very basic entry point process at this point. You just go to tinyurl.com/alignment mastermind. tinyurl.com/alignment mastermind. Okay. So this is a 2-part process for this instructions here. So part 1 is you go to that site and it'll take you to my PayPal and you buy your ticket. Okay. It'll have the price right there for you. $111 US. You buy your ticket. Okay. As soon as you can, right away, do it. Then what we're going to do is we're going to pop you in the next one that is got space, that's got time, that it works with your schedule, but they're usually going to be Saturday nights or Sunday afternoons. If you're in Australia, if you're in North America, it's going to be a Saturday night. If you're in Australia, it'll usually be a Sunday afternoon, okay, for the meantime, until we start introducing them every week, and in which case you just message me, okay, Bobby of Parihar, Facebook, or you can send me an email. There's my contact information is everywhere in case you're watching this on one of the channels, and just let me know. I'll also have your email so I can email you. Be like, hey, what's going on? Let's put you in the group. Let's put you in the private chat. What we'll do is we'll put you in a private chat room. The other people who are waiting to get lined up, all the other of you creative dreamers out there, your soul hungry business entrepreneurs, spiritual people, healers, coaches, whatever it is. Maybe you're just a mama or a pop, or you're just a young guy or a young girl on your own, just trying to make your way in the world. Maybe you're a single parent. Maybe you're a power couple. Whatever it is that you are, it's $111 per person. Okay, while we're on the topic of couples. And we'll put you in the chat. We're going to have a private Zoom. Inside that Zoom, what we're going to do is introduce everyone. Everyone's going to get a chance to confirm their birthday, the names they use. We're going to build a sheet like a spreadsheet of all of you guys, and we're going to measure the temperature inside of your names. Once we have everybody measured, I'm going to give a really strong message towards the date, where you are in your life, the type of group or the type of people that are there. And then we're going to go through each one of you with a fine-tooth comb, and we're going to give you guys names, and we're going to give you alignment. And so enters the new place of your life, the next generation. It feels more like the next evolution. It's almost like waking up in a parallel reality, but all of your memories are still with you, which makes it really tough because now suddenly you exist in the vibration you want, but the rest of the world remembers what you used to be. So you got to climb. And I'm assuming that this is your intention to do so, that you will look at business and be like, I am not going to quit. I'm not going to walk up to the door and then walk away. I'm going full force on my dream. I will create success for myself, my life, my family. Nothing can stop me. Even if it means I get this strong urge to change my name around a little bit, that's fine. But I'm going to take that move forward. And just to be fair, there's a reason why this is evolving. It's because we need to create a space for this. And so I invite you guys to that. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a great time. We turn into family after this very spiritually powerful channel message comes for you. And with that, you grow in a really big way. And you get a chance now to be invited. I'll invite you, no extra cost, to come and mastermind with us, chat room with us, be in our private group, the numerology alumni group. You get a chance to mix and mingle with other people who are aligned, and they're all writing their new names. And it's just this like weird looking fight club because all of us know what we are, but many people out there, they just don't quite get it. and to have a mastermind, a community, and a group of people who have all decided to get spiritual with their alignment and to get right with their craft and who they are, the message that they spring, the vibration that they spring on the world. Hey, like attracts like, steel sharpens steel. And you know how I am with my metaphors, analogies, my cliches. It's true. And you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with. So imagine the more you hang around in there. And let me just tell you about this private group we got going on. Just so you guys know, your one-time investment into a session with me now suddenly becomes a lifelong relationship of support and of mutual growth. I watch you grow. I'm there to assist you. I'm here to help you through that journey. And it'd be nothing more than a blessing of mine. The blessing would mean there could not be nothing that means more than watching and seeing you grow in your leadership legs. And it's tough when I work with people who never come back, or they don't find the success they're looking for, or they're like, oh, I need another name. This name didn't work. And I'm like, I think we missed the point. The real point here is that there's nothing wrong with you, but you have to get really real with the direction you want to grow into your life. So not to say anything wrong with anyone who's changed their name more than once. Sometimes you do have to grow through a couple of different vibes. Sometimes you just use a couple different vibes depending on where you are. Sometimes you choose the wrong number and you need to grow in it. Sometimes you've grown out of it and you need to choose you're growing into a bigger state. So I'm not here to judge your story. All I'm saying is that there's a reason why you're changing your vibe. And sometimes even that alone is a self-sabotage, thinking, oh, I have to change it again because now this means something good's going to happen to me. And I have to challenge that. So just in case you're one of those people and you're dealing with that, my heart goes out to you because that's a tough one. It's not easy to have a challenge like that. But I will tell you this. Armed with spiritual awareness of self, armed with a feeling of alignment inside of your business, your name, yourself, it does wonders towards the direction, the momentum, the ability to gain energy in your favor. It's hard to explain, but I'll tell you this. We use language every day. Sometimes some people talk very negatively and super sharp. They use loose words. They mumble. They don't speak with integrity. They say one thing, they do another. There's a bunch of these different negative versions of communication. And then there's people that say something and you believe in them and you can feel it in your soul that this is a good-natured person. And you know that this is communication you want to be around. This is communication that's going to be like patient for you, wants to see you grow, wants to grow with you. Like there's positive levels of talk and then there's negative levels of self-talk and talk for others. That's why I teach you about affirmations and how do you talk to yourself and why. Because it matters what vibration you communicate to the universe. And we often forget how close to the universe we are because we get caught saying things that don't suit us, that are not in our best interest. They talk down upon us. We talk down against ourselves. And we go through this negative spiral of communication within us because nobody's watching, nobody knows but me. And yet you don't recognize you are the universe. You are the magnetic distinguisher of what your vibration is going to say, do, and act in the world. So it's weird because people are like, oh my God, if you think about something, it's going to happen. And I'm like, it's not like that. You're the one happening. Like you're the one making it happen. Your word, it speaks into existence. Your energy, your vibe, your thought, your emotion, your gut, your vibe, like, everything about you, it speaks into the planet. And so what you give is going to echo back to you. It's going to naturally, cosmically attract like. It's what it does. That's why oil and water split and they clump together. Or you let soap dry or something, or like the difference between oil and grease or whatever, and you see that it solidifies at different levels because that is a different level of density. And otherwise everything would just be mushed and there would be no difference between paper and plastic and, like electricity and lights. And there's a distinguishing factor that things that are the same stick together. So the same thing with you. What ideas do you say about yourself? What conversation what communication do you give to you? And so I think, yeah, but how does that have to deal with a name? Like, why is it now that a name suddenly changes everything? And to that, the first thing I thought was, good question, because how does it make sense? One thing that really satisfies and settles me is how much your character and personality is described through that conversation. So when you like speak that, you get a chance to like see it for yourself. When you get a chance to use a name and it's like a powerful vibe, and the name you hold says everything about you, it would deduce that a new name will also follow suit, or a higher name will also hold the qualities of that. If you know, oh my God, and I don't know you, and I'm telling you about your life, and I'm telling you things that you have not even seen yourself, you haven't even like acknowledged yourself, and it's this profound feeling of like, how does this person know me so well? And I don't think it's the magic of me, it's the magic in your numbers. And to see that, have clarity around that, and then tweak it, move it to the next level, that's the swing home. That's the home run swing. So it's with so much honor, blessing, pleasure, privilege that we step into this direction, because my time is evolving, and unfortunately I'm not in the same place as I used to be. I'm training people now. I'm training other numerologists. So if you're interested in learning more about what numerology is and how to use it and how to coach with it, you're more than welcome to come and see me. But one of the more challenging realities you have to think of is the story you're talking speaking to your highest power, highest good, highest wealth? And that's why we have these group alignments. It's great to go through this one-on-one, but it's even better when you got a bunch of your friends with you, or you're like, you know what, let's all go do this. Let's all go do this seminar together. Let's go take this webinar together. Let's get this thing started. And, we'll see what happens. We'll see, we'll take we'll all make a 90-day blitz out of this and treat this for ourselves for a launch, or use this to get to the next level, or find the alignment. Maybe you're just sick and tired of seeing everyone else get results. And you're like, why is it that everybody who works with Bobby suddenly becomes successful, or it seems like it? It's probably because there's a message in there for you. There's something in there for you that is going to unlock you and help you get to another place. And if you're like, oh, well, what is it? I'd like to immediately think it's meeting yourself in the spiritual understanding of what numerology. It's about finding who you are and becoming at peace at terms and in awareness and acknowledgement of all of the things that are naturally you. Because that really takes the sting out a lot. It really takes out the sting, okay? So I'm super excited. I'm gonna see you guys in 24 hours. At a certain point, we're gonna cut off because I need to prepare. But you can get in on next week. You can get in on the week after. We're gonna do this every week. And if you need to book one or do one privately for your team, now you're thinking, okay? So if you've got a group, I can take smaller groups. I can take larger groups. I can't take more than 30. But, if we're doing a weekly session, again, no more than 30. I'm just, for the sake of time, can't be on a webinar for 3.5 hours, even though I can clearly talk on one for an hour or more. Welcome to my podcast, guys. You can go ahead and see any episode you want. But this one here is dedicated to the power of the group alignment, the Alignment Mastermind show. And tomorrow we're having first of many in this format, but get your tickets now, tinyurl.com/alignmentmastermind. Once I get the notification of your PayPal, you can give me a call, you can give me a message, I'll put you in the private group, we'll change your life, we'll get you a new name, absolutely, or at least start the journey. But how many of you would change your life if you could? How many of you would you move into a new vibe of yourself if it meant that it would be a new path or a new journey, or finally acknowledging some of the gifts that you've got in your birthday? I say that's a really powerful tool in your belt, and you can't leave this thing to chance. Not now that we've found it, now that we know the language exists, you can't just leave it to the side. Sometimes you have a bigger growing path than others. Sometimes it's just a matter of finding that right name. But whatever it is a blessing, an honor, and a privilege to serve you guys in business and in life. This is Bobby Parihar, the Solution Artist. I'm signing off. I'll see you guys tomorrow. If anyone needs to be involved in the next one, I highly suggest that you do. And we'll talk to you guys then. All right, guys, we'll see you guys soon. Have a great night and enjoy. Bye.